Good morning, everyone. I'm Chloe. Today I want to introduce about the goth subculture in America. But I want to say sorry to everyone first because there were a lot of goth subculture about England, but about the U.S. subculture isn't. So I couldn't find any information today to know this topic very well. Yeah. I will going to introduce about history, characteristic, and cultural content. About the history of goth subculture. In fact, the initial goth subculture was from England, but in 1980s it was spread to the U.S. at first, and it became very popular in California. At that moment, people were unable to reconcile the new value, so that their society was trying to impress upon them with their newly rich sense of self. Most of people were wealthy children and are from the middle classes. Unlike their parents, with a strong feeling of instability. Yeah. And until now, the goth subculture is still extinct in the U.S. Next is about the practice of goth subculture. I will introduce the fashion, including clothes, makeup, and hairstyle. You can see this photo. The goth people always like to apply the black eyeliner and black lipstick on their white face. You can see that this photo, it can show you that imagine their clothes and their hairstyle. They always has long black hair and always wear long and black dress. Sometimes they will wear the pants replace the long dress. Next is about ideology of goth subculture. The goth subculture goals can be identified with an entire conformity movement. That means people don't want to follow the current status of the current society. Besides, their action is what they always not supportive violence, but it was tolerant with of alternative lifestyle. About the cultural content, I will introduce music, visual arts, film, and literature. Their music it already turned over to punk gothic band and concentrate on social evils like racism and world hatred of groups such as Marilyn Manson. But it's a controversial group among the teenagers because their songs are inclined to the violence and suicide. So their parents always concerned and worry about that. Next is about visual arts. The fiction of visual arts, they always based on the mystic and movie and the romantic motifs. And the preference is dark colors and cementers. So this, just for example, like this photo, it's inclined to dark. The author is Anne Sweetworth. She is a famous Gothic artist by his dark and Gothic imagery. About their film, most of them will use dark romantic storytelling characteristics to to perform. Next, one of the famous movie is Edward Scissorhands. It's an American romantic comedy fantasy film in 1990. In the movie, the writer used contrast skill to reveal the difference between Edward and outside world. From the movie, Edward's black dressing always made people scared, but his heart were very pure than each other. But even though, on the contrary, even though outside were beautiful and colorful, but the people always pursue the money and the reputation. Yeah. So Edward always can reflect their greed of the outside world. Yeah, it's very similar with my final conclusion and the status of Gothic people. Yeah. About the literature, the author always use horror, supernatural dread, and the romance, the fiction, the feeling, such as I offered two novels to show you the early American Gothic novels. Is Frank Norris, Vandover and Hood, and James Fenimore Cooper, The Spire and Nanny find these stalking tales. Yeah. And my conclusion and influence, in my opinion, the Goth subculture is a refuge for powerlessness and the marginal group. The marginal means the age of society. Yeah. And many in the media have encouraged a society, the Goth subculture, with violence and hatred of minorities and other acts of hate, because their dressing and appearance are easily to be suspected by people when the accident will happen. Yeah, so it's very unfair for them. That's my presentation. Yeah, any questions?
Do they want to be vampire or evil? Do they want to be vampire or evil? Vampire.
Ah, no. They seldom do that. Thank you.